I'm Mike James, sports editor of the Los Angeles Times, and I'm joined by Sam Farmer, our national NFL columnist, to talk about what has been a great NFL playoff season so far, with two terrific games coming up this weekend. Sam, let's just jump right into it and start with this AFC game, a terrific matchup of two of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen.
Right, so, two of the best quarterbacks in history. The NFL couldn't have scripted it any better to have Tom Brady against Peyton Manning in this. Each of these players has played each other this is the third time they played each other in the AFC Championship game. Each has beaten the other, and so this is sort of the ultimate rubber match between the two. And for Peyton Manning, it's a relief to finally have this game in Denver because, as you remember, earlier this season, the Broncos blew a 24-point lead in New England to lose. So, great game.
Two very good coaches. One, Mr. Personality, Bill Belichick. So do you see any advantage for either of those guys?
Well, a key situation in this game is Chris Harris, the starting cornerback for the Broncos, suffered a torn anterior cruciate ligament in the San Diego game. And you noticed in the second half after Harris was out, San Diego's offense exploded. They were down 17 points. They scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. So that's a key soft spot for the Broncos that Tom Brady's going to try to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm. Who do you see anybody in this game? Any of the obviously it's a quarterback league, so so the focus is on those two guys. But who are a couple of the other players that might suddenly rise and become the headline on Monday?
Well, I'm really interested in Wes Welker because Wes Welker playing against his former team, the Broncos receiver, playing against the Patriots. He's back. He missed 3 games with a concussion. He played the other night, scored a touchdown against the Chargers. He's going to be playing his former team. That's going to be a key player. And also LeGarrette Blount for the Patriots. Scored 4 touchdowns in the playoff game over the weekend. And Denver's defense is vulnerable. You can run on Denver's defense. San Diego couldn't, but I think the Patriots will be able to.
The second game features two very interesting quarterbacks too, a lot less experience, but certainly interesting to watch. Who do you see having an edge there?
Well, those teams are very, very similar because you've got two extremely tough defenses. You've got very mobile quarterbacks, very hard-nosed teams. I think Seattle has the edge, but not quite the edge that Seattle's had over the 49ers in Seattle during regular season games.
Russell Wilson really hasn't played spectacularly in the playoffs.
No, and in fact, the last month of the season, Seattle's offense has struggled. Seattle needs a playmaker, and Seattle needs Percy Harvin to come back. He had 2 real hard hits to the head, left with a concussion in this last game. He'll be key. They need an offensive playmaker against San Francisco.
The coaching matchup there is certainly interesting too. It doesn't seem to be an awful lot of love lost between Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, these guys sincerely dislike each other, and that goes back to college when Pete was at USC and Jim was at Stanford. This has sort of emerged and evolved as the most bitter rivalry in the NFL, and San Francisco has won these close games in San Francisco against the Seahawks, but has been absolutely blown out, torched in Seattle. And I don't see that happening. I think it'll be a much closer game, but Seattle does get the edge.
Okay. Well, Sam, thanks for your insights. As always, they're very interesting to listen to, and we'll be watching during the week too. And for Sam's reports every day, you can check LATimes.com on the Sports Now blog. And of course, with your morning cup of coffee, you can read them at a more leisurely pace in the print edition of the LA Times.